On the agenda tonight, we're going back to the early 70s. We're going to be taking a look at Badfinger, and they're going to be performing Sweet Tuesday Morning. Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So, as you can see, we've got the acoustic guitar out tonight because this request was asking me to take a look at Joey Mollen's guitar playing in this particular performance, and as always, there's a link in the description below if you want to watch this the whole way through without me interrupting it, because I am going to be jumping into it and pointing out a few things about the guitar playing, but we do have the pitch monitoring software on screen as well if you want to take a look at Joey's voice, at least looking at where that is going. But we will be focusing mostly on guitar, I think, tonight. But let's have a listen and see what's going on.
Tuesday morning came on your smile. All of my fears, they have left me. Sweet Tuesday morning came on your smile. Love is the answer you gave me. Been to places all around, astounding. I've seen Tuesday morning came on your smile. All of my fears, they have left
So I'm just going to jump in here because the first thing to mention is that I think we've got three guitars here playing at the same time, but when we do start out we get to hear what Joey's doing, and we do get a close-up of his right hand to see what's going on. And I mean, first of all, there's loads of technique in this, and I know that recently actually we looked at the quote from Quincy Jones about the Beatles, saying that they were the worst musicians ever. And the reason that I mention that is that Badfinger was signed to the Beatles record label, Apple Records. And I do have a video on Badfinger if you want to check that out independently, where I talk about the story that I'm sure you all know, and yeah, how sadly they were really done over in the industry by their manager, and yeah, it's a very sad and tragic story. But just getting back to this, when I say about the technical ability and referring to that Beatles video or what Quincy Jones said, Badfinger and Joey here is just showing top level technique. I mean, we do have hybrid picking going on here, so it means that he's playing with a pick but also playing with his fingers. It's a hybrid between, you know, what would be strumming and then playing fingerstyle, which is where you just use your fingers. So it's combining these two things. And by the way, as I always say, this isn't going to be an instructional video. So if you're looking to learn the song and go through it chord by chord, you know, verse, chorus, that isn't going to be this video. I'm going to be just pointing out what Joey's doing so that maybe you'll get a bit of a deeper appreciation of this performance. Also, when you take into consideration that he's singing at the same time, it is massively impressive. But getting into this hybrid picking technique, because it's not something that I do a lot of, but he's kind of got this vibe to it where it's that kind of cycle, but he's always moving with that right hand. he's kind of using his third finger to pick that high E string. Hopefully you can hear this. But yeah, when he then moves over to a G, and again, actually he stays on the D string, but it's this right hand, I'll do it slowly, and he might be using his second finger there. And he's kind of always got this movement to it. I am just going to go back so that you can see how comfortable Joey is with this technique. You can just see that he's flowing so naturally with that. And obviously he's just playing this the way that is most comfortable for him. And yes, some people might play it finger style, some people might play it with hybrid picking, even using different fingers. Like I said, that you might be using the second finger there rather than picking it. I think I would use the pick, I think, in order to do it. Yeah, I'm now kind of overthinking it. I'm just going to take this back so that you can see kind of how comfortable this is with that right hand. You know, Joey's just going through this naturally, so comfortable with it. And look at the way that he's kind of always got this flow going. So he's kind of got, yeah, that last part is kind of more like a downstroke and an upstroke. So he's kind of filling in the sound. He's not being really overly precise, but even when I say that, he is, because we're still getting that, you know, effectively that pattern. But the last part is more like a downstroke and an upstroke, and that's why you kind of see that movement going on. When he goes over to the G, this is the other thing to mention, is that he's still staying on that D string, so he's not kind of moving his pick down, and you can see that because you see the strings moving, but that's still the same pattern. C, and let me just see if he goes to the A string for that. That's quite hard to see, but for the C, he might, because there's other guitars playing, he might stay with that into an F. Let's see what he does with the F. Okay, so with the F, he's actually stayed on the D string, so he's probably just kept this same pattern. Just to mention quickly about bar chords on acoustic guitar, because I know they are difficult to play, and a lot of people just use capos and never get into playing bar chords. And here, our bar chord is the B flat, so it means that we're on the first fret, and I mean, it's therefore going to be the most difficult bar chord to play, or at least one of the most difficult. I mean, F, I think it's quite easy when you get your thumb over the top, but playing the B flat, it means that your genetics is called into question, because when you're down at the first fret, obviously the distance between the frets is the most it's going to be on the whole fretboard. So if you've got larger hands, it's going to make it easier to play. If you've got small hands like me, it's going to be more difficult. And then trying to kind of get it clean is difficult as well. I mean, I can just about kind of get away with it, but then we've got to apply this sequence that Joey's doing. Just quickly, I want to throw in here that my hand wants to go through the same sequence that it has, you know, probably for years, going like that, which is the muscle memory in my right hand. That's what it wants to do. But Joey's not doing that, so this is why it's really difficult. And if I was learning this to play it, and if anybody is trying to learn this song and you want to do the picking, and if there's any sequence that you're not used to, you just got to do it slowly. Obviously, doing it on a B flat bar chord is not a good idea, because yeah, it's going to be difficult to keep it clean all the time. So practice on an easier chord, maybe the first D minor that we have. But when we get into that, he goes back to that kind of A string there, which is going to feel a little bit weird. Kind of like that. God, yeah. Guitarists will know that trying to overwrite muscle memory on that right hand. It just doesn't want to do something different. That's why you have to keep it slow. If I was learning this, I would do it very slowly. For example, when we get to that E sus, the A sus4, we go. Yeah, that's the speed that you'd have to do it to start getting that muscle memory used to it. And then you can start to. That's quite a good one, but getting that. There you go. So the more you do it, the more the muscle memory starts to accept that new way of playing it. The other thing is, if you listen out, you can just hear lead lines going on all the time with one of the other guitars. Like there, we had. There's a little run in there. And I mean, it's difficult to make out all the notes. Okay, yeah, so now we've got that rundown. So it might have been that might have been the first one. And then kind of like that. So yeah, I mean, we've got obviously that's technical as well. I mean, that's not kind of easy stuff, because yeah, we're alternate picking all of that to make it stand out, because there's nowhere to hide here. We're playing acoustic guitar, so if you miss any notes, it's going to stand out. And also, if you kind of get any buzzing going on, you know, you got to kind of play it with authority to get it to sound as it should.
Tuesday morning.
And I think if you listen through, you'll be able to hear little guitar lines going on all the time. But let's jump back into it where we left it.
Been to places all around, astounding. Seen the breaking of the souvenirs.
And by the way, just to mention about timing, because they're playing this at a tempo that is decided by themselves and just listening to each other, and that's not easy to do, especially in a TV studio. You know, if you're relying on foldback or anything like that, and the other guitarist might be miles away trying to hear the timing exactly, is not always a given. Just to point out something vocally that's going on here, you can see that Joey, when he's going, nah, he's kind of sliding up, but not hitting the G-sharp 3. He's kind of between notes here, but that's just the expression of the way that he's singing it, and it's intentional. And when you're listening to this, you don't think, oh, that's as out of tune as you can get. You just hear the expression. So, yeah, this is the kind of thing with live performances, and especially vocal performances that haven't been digitally edited from a pitch perspective, you get to hear all of this stuff in there.
The first time I felt it for you. Sweet Tuesday morning came a new smile. Love is the answer you gave me.
And there we have it, a guitar fest of a performance, having 3 of them on the go. But at the end there, we heard that a little bit kind of higher in the mix. I think that was the run at the end. So yeah, you can hear all those lead lines going on all the time, but yeah, there's a lot of technical ability here on show with what Joey's doing, but the fact that we've got the other guitars in there, of course, is really going to fill in the sound. So it's difficult sometimes to hear exactly what Joey's doing, but you can see that hand movement. And if we were to be able to hear his guitar, it would sound good. It would sound good just by itself. We've got Tom Evans on guitar. I didn't even mention that. You can see that he's using a capo, but he's playing a little bit of fingerstyle as that third guitar. So, you know, considering that he's a bassist, obviously has that ability to play guitar as well, which is a huge thing when we're talking about instrumental ability, multi-instrumental ability within the band. It means that you can do so many things live, as these guys could. Like I said, just technically great musicians, as well as being able to provide those vocals, harmonizing with each other. So yeah, there's a lot in this to appreciate. And Mike Gibbons as well on you know, on percussion. I was going to say bongos, but on percussion. So yeah, a great live performance here. And this is what great bands can do. Just get a few guitars and not even need any amplification, but just put on a great performance of one of their songs and make it sound like the song sounds on the album. So anyway, I think actually Tom played a 12-string on the album version, but anyway, just a 6-string here, 3 6-string guitars. Thank you guys for requesting this particular video for me to take a look at. Keep those suggestions and requests coming in the comment section below. And as always, let me know what you guys think. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!